welcome to the newest episode of the Drive Home Podcast and to our first ever Christmas special, kind of. Anyway, let's drive this podcast home. Christmas edition. So, it's the 21st, so Christmas happens in 4 days. Wow, that is a lot sooner than I kind of realized. With all this festive holiday cheer and snow everywhere, and the car in front of me isn't moving. Please go. Thank you. But, long story short, it's Christmas soon. And I know not everybody celebrates Christmas and whatever. I don't know. I live in America. It's what we do, I guess. I know the origins are kind of rooted in Catholic Bible stuff. I don't know. It's the one with Jesus and stuff. I don't know. I know that's it's semi the source of the holiday, but then there's also I think like a saint, which I don't know what level of priest that is, but it's gotta be a high level priest probably. Was a priest called like a saint, which I'm assuming is a kind of priest or something, some kind of within the church person, at some point gave out presents at this time of year or something to kids, I guess. I don't know. Which in retrospect, like a real person doing this sounds really creepy. But, who knows? Probably out of the kindness of their heart. Anyway, that Saint Nick or Saint Nicholas became Santa Claus eventually. That's why that's why sometimes you'll hear people call him Saint Nick or whatever. And I think that's the origin that I kind of learned. No, I'm not super big on believing in religions or whatever, but it was a holiday. I'm not gonna say no to free presents. And now that I'm an adult, I have to get people presents, and I got some myself. But it's Christmas, I guess. I don't know. So since my parents got divorced young, and yeah, it's not sad so much as this is just an explanation. But sorry, it's a bit thin. The air, I mean, my window's not open, but it's cold still. I didn't let my car warm up too much before leaving because I want to go home. Anyway, so growing up, Christmas was, I think 1 year we had it all together. Maybe. At least 1 year that I can remember. I know there was more, but as I've stated, my first memories were about the time that I turned 3 years old. That's when I first started to remember. So, anyway, Christmas is really interesting, honestly. So, winter is my favorite time of year, snow is one of my favorite, or is my favorite weather. At least just how I think it looks nice. I like the way it looks when it's snowing, especially when it's lightly snowing. No matter what time of day it is. Well, I guess if it's pitch black outside, there's not much to see. But sometimes the sky looks brighter than it should at nighttime. And I don't know why that is. The sky is brighter than the actual light outside. And so it lights up, so the sky lights up the ground, even though it's nighttime. Even though there's no moon at the time. I have no idea if that's some reflection of the sun or whatnot, but it looks cool, and it's interesting. It is not like that currently, at least not that I can tell. But pretty much any time of day, be it like normal daytime like time or afternoon or night, whenever it's snowing, it looks pretty. Well, even if it's like heavy, I'm sorry, even if it's heavy snow, I think the cold is affecting my speech, which is funny. At least to me it is. Anyway, so obviously I like snow, but there's lots of things to do in winter, and so there's lots of family activities and stuff. There's this place where you can go skiing or snowboarding or tubing when it's winter. I don't know what they do the rest of the year. I assume they must do something, but I have no idea. So, I mean, we did it a couple of years ago, but we haven't done it super recently. But my dad will take me and my brother, and sometimes extra family members will go and stuff, and we'll bring along family friends or whatever. And we'll go to this place and we'll go tubing because I have no center of balance, so I can't really do any of the other cool things. I can sled, but they don't do sledding there. But speaking of sledding, and tubing is just like you get in like an inner tube kinda. It usually has like a hard plastic bottom, and you just, it's like sledding but with a tube, I guess. It's pretty much just sledding, honestly, but it's a tube. That's basically it. So speaking of sledding, I used to go sledding a whole lot. So my grandmother, at my grandmother's house, my mother's mother, I should say. Well, I guess whatever. I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but at least not of the ownership of the house, because my grandfather's still alive, and my grandmother's been like a stay-at-home grandmother person for a while. Like, she'll go shopping, but she doesn't like driving too far, I guess. And I don't know. And my grandfather has done a lot, but like, I don't want to get into the semantics of it. And my grandmother worked at some point. I wasn't alive, I don't think. It was like forever ago when that happened, but I was told about it. I think she worked at a shoe store or something. Maybe that was my mother. I know my grandmother worked at some point. I just don't remember what. Because for the longest time, she's been a stay-at-home, like, grandmother, I guess. Because my grandfather actually does pretty good work. He's a mechanic, like most of my family. That's besides the point. This is the Christmas episode. Ring the bells or whatever. There will not be sound effects. I'm not good enough to do that. I mean, I could probably put, like, music in the background, but that's a Christmas miracle, and it is not yet Christmas, sadly. Speaking of, this will actually go up on Christmas Eve, just so that, just because no one's gonna want to go, no one's going anywhere on Christmas, realistically, and if you are, I apologize, that must really suck. It's not my fault, but that, I would hate that. I would hate to do that. That would be terrible. Because it's a holiday, regardless, right? Like, I mean, like, I guess if you don't believe in Christmas, don't celebrate it, it's whatever. But I guess the general idea is, like, you don't want to go to work or anything on a holiday, right? I mean, maybe you're going to your family's house or something. Or the family's meetup point. Because usually they pick somebody's house and it's done there. Long story short, out back of my great-grandfather's house, which is currently where my aunt is living, same side of the family, there's a lake that freezes over from, well, it's a pond, technically. Anyway, it freezes over for winter, and there's a steep hill towards it, so we go tubing and sledding. We've mostly just done tubes, because sleds kind of suck to a certain extent. But yeah, no, we slide out onto the lake a little bit. Not usually all that far, but it's always competition to see who can get there the farthest, I guess. Because the snow and the ice, I don't know, it's really fun. So, as I was saying before, and you know, I don't have a lot of stamina. I was born with asthma, which sucks because breathing is good. But mainly, I have no stamina because I never pushed myself because I just believed that I just had a limit and maybe I'd just get better at it when I was older. I don't know. Long story short, I don't have nearly any stamina to this day, and it sucks. I have perseverance to get through, like, manual labor, but, like, it sucks. I wish I had, like, trained or something to get more stamina at some point, but it's hard to do that with so much, like, I have so much going on, just, like, to do, that, like, I want to do it, but it's not something that's feasible, especially right now with it being winter. And also money, if I needed to pay for anything. Like, I could just run outside, but I'm always at work or sleeping or something, I don't know, doing something. That's not the point. This is Christmas. Well, it will be. Well, it'll be Christmas Eve. Speaking of, so I will get into Christmas Eve in a bit, but some things to remember about Christmas. So there's Christmas movies. I've never had to deal with Christmas carolers. I don't understand that. I think the general consensus around these parts is just like everyone wants to be with their family. No one cares about carolers. Like, if you want to carol, that's good on you. But like, I don't understand it. Why would you do that when you could be hanging out with your family or enjoying, like, a Christmas movie? Speaking of Christmas movies, I don't care much for them, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm not saying I don't appreciate the work that goes into, like, the animation, because it's stop motion, I believe, most of it, not all of it. But, like, the movies everyone remembers, like Rudolph, Frosty, the Snowman, and a bunch of others, like, relating to those two in some way usually, are like stop motion animation, and I understand that, and that's cool, but my eyes, I don't care for the style, personally. I do like The Grinch. The Grinch is always good, and it's short. I like Jim Carrey's The Grinch, too. That one's, like, it's funny. Speaking of, I watched Mr. Popper's Penguins last night with my brother. We ordered Chinese food, and we were just like, hey, want to watch a movie? And so I was just looking for something funny, silly, whatever to watch. And I saw Mr. Popper's Penguins, and we ended up watching it. And we'd seen it before, but I didn't realize it was Jim Carrey because I wasn't fully into, like, knowing who actors were. I think the extent of me knowing who actors were was Robert Downey Jr., because Robert Downey Jr. and John Wayne, because I've seen a bunch of his movies with my dad. But anyway, I was like, man, this guy really seems like he has really good Jim Carrey energy, right? I hope I'm not getting his name wrong. I swear I get people's names wrong. Like, I'm so bad with names. And I looked it up, and it was Jim Carrey, and I was like, wow. I should have seen it, but the hair is off-putting, because I'm just remembering him for not the hair he had in that movie, I guess. But anyway, I don't care. Like, the movies themselves are fine. It's just, I don't know why. I don't like watching them. The older Christmas movies and stuff. I don't know why. But, and as for Christmas, on Christmas Eve, I guess within the last several years, maybe like almost a decade probably at this point, my family will come up to my mother's, which is where I basically live, on Christmas Eve, and we'll do presents for my side of the family then, at least the ones revolving around the people there. And then I guess maybe the day after they'll get the other side. I'm assuming because I have cousins that they'll get the other side of their family's gifts. Because I have young cousins. Anyway, I think they're in elementary school. I think both of them are in elementary school now. And then on Christmas, I will go. Me and my brother will head up to our dad's and we'll do Christmas. It's a little. It kind of fluctuates, but usually in the morning. And we haven't really been able to do a proper Christmas in a while, but at least 2 years, 3 years maybe, I don't know. But so for Christmas, we'll head up to our dad's. Either we'll head there late Christmas Eve night, or just later in the day on Christmas Eve, or we'll head up there in the morning on Christmas. And so in the morning we'll open presents at my dad's house, and my family members will show up and give us our presents there, which is nice. And later in the day we'll meet up at my grandmother's house, I guess, and we would open like more presents there. There would be even more presents, I think. Because my grandmother was a really big fan, I guess, of Christmas. She really liked Christmas. I think she used to throw parties for Christmas. Like she used to have a piano, like a grand piano. Like you have to like hit the foot pedals, and then you can pull out a bunch of like different. I don't know what they did, but they made the piano sound different. I think. I have no idea where that is anymore. It's been, I want to say, missing. I don't know what happened to it. It got moved out of the living room at her house forever ago. More than 10 years, I think, at this point. But she's my grandmother who passed away around 2 years ago. And she had been delirious before, so I don't remember if we really had done that. And I think last year, well, my dad's side of the family has been having issues since my grandmother's passing. So my grandmother was a bit of a, well, I won't get into it this episode, but she had some property. Like, my aunt was living off of my great-grandfather's house, which my grandmother actually owned. And so there's disputes over it, I guess. It was just weird. I don't fully understand it, and I'm not gonna try. But I don't see my aunt too much, and she'll show up and my aunt and me and my brother are pretty close with my aunt on my dad's side, which is nice. She'd take us to see like all the Avengers movies and whatever else we'd want to see during summer, and sometimes not during summer. And just generally, she would take us to do stuff. So we're pretty close. So around like our birthdays and stuff, she would come up and she would drop off our presents and stuff. Because I'm not really able to leave go down to my dad's all that often, and even then, she doesn't really. She and my dad. So it's her versus my dad and my uncle, which kind of sucks. And I'm just staying out of it because I don't understand it enough. So I probably phrased it poorly, but and I don't even know if the situation's changed or not since then. I mean, she's still living there, and I mean, she's been living there for a long time as well. Either way, it's, I guess, I don't know, family's important. And it's along with that, Christmas is important because it brings family together. And to get back a little bit more back onto the Christmas topic, um, so at my grandmother's on my father's side, when she was alive, she had this. I don't know what it was made out of, but it was really heavy. And you either had to plug it in or it had batteries. But it was this house, and you could hit something on it, and it would tell you the entire like the Christmas story of when Santa shows up and stuff. Like the thing that starts with like no one was stirring, not even a mouse or whatever. Like not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Like that whole story of Santa showing up and doing doing Santa stuff at a house. That whole story would play through somebody's voice, and like some things in the house would like light up. It was really interesting. I love that thing. I don't know where that is. My dad's moving into my grandmother's house. I think he's moved in there by now. So I'm not. I'm kind of happy because that house is important. I believe. If I remember correctly, it was built by my grandfather for my grandmother and him to live in and stuff. I believe. And so that's nice. And also it's where the my family's grave is. It's a little bit it's next to the driveway. And the driveway is like, it's not long or anything, but it's not like, you won't be able to see the house. There are trees in the way and all that, but yeah, no, Christmas is important, so I think it's important that we at least learn why. You don't have to believe in any of the stuff or whatever. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm just saying that you don't have to believe in, like, the origins, or you don't have to believe in Catholicism or Christianity or whichever religion. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, the importance of it is the thought, right? And you don't have to get people a bajillion gifts or anything, I don't think. I think just, like, it's about togetherness, I guess, right? Because, like, Thanksgiving is all about, like, the food and whatever, and then there's the football game as well. I think Christmas should just be about, being together as a family when it's cold, because that's kind of, like, it helps with the whole family vibe, I guess. Anyway, I think Christmas is important, Like, it's not like, and I know a lot of it nowadays is just like, oh, buy these or whatever. I don't know. I don't care about that part. That's, like the marketing and stuff is unbearable at times. But I do think, as any holiday, like, it's important for, like, bonding or whatever. It's about togetherness and being nice, I guess. I don't know. The thought's nice. And, and I say all this, but, I'm always excited to see what I get for presents or whatever. And I don't do well off with money, and I don't exactly know what all my family members want, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get any, like, at this point, it's too late in the game for me to really, like, get everything for people, but I've got my mother something, I need to get my dad something, but I'll probably do that some other time soon, and then, got my brother something, got two of my friends something, because we're close friends, and I usually get them. I get them birthday presents, and they get and they get me and my brother birthday presents, and Christmas presents, vice versa as well. And that whole thing, and it's nice. And I don't know. I think Christmas is important, so it might not just like, and I it probably sounds like I'm one of them generic whatevers, but like when you get older, it just kind of like the presents mean less. Like, yes, money is like tight, especially for me because I actually have money and I can't just like rely off my parents for everything. But I think just generally, like it's less about like the gifts and anything else. Yeah, it is about togetherness. I do feel like even without like all the presents, like I think just like I don't know, maybe like 3 presents at most, like that are like actually presents, I guess, like per year for Christmas, I guess. And then like once you reach like 10 or something, you get like 2. And once you reach like high school or whatever, you get like 1. And then you'll only get 1 for like the next forever or until you stop getting them. Because it is what it is. Because it's not about that, I don't think. Like, not really. Like, that's what it's about for kids and stuff. And that's great. Right? Like, everyone likes presents and gifts and stuff and whatever. But I think the important thing to, like, reiterate is the whole togetherness, family aspect of it. Even if it's generic and sounds lame, I think that is what it is, right? Like, because even if you have, like, and you know, it doesn't have to be your family, like, you know, I get presents for my friends, right? Like, it's like 1 each, and usually they have something in mind. And we usually, it's unspoken, but we usually have like a price limit, you know? But it's nice. And I like it because it's a way to show that, you know, I care about my friends. Anyway, I've probably rambled on long enough, you know? So, I guess I will end it here for this episode. And if you haven't noticed, I cut and I'm inside just because I didn't want to sit out in my car and talk. But I did want to talk more about Christmas and stuff. It just seemed wrong not to. But it is a special time of year, I guess, because it's not just Christmas. There's Hanukkah and which I don't understand really how it works. All I really know about it is that I think it's the I don't know why it's celebrated, but there's a candelabra, which is like a super candlestick. That's all I really know about it, because I don't celebrate it, because it's a really specific, well, I say really specific, it's like, you know, it's like, there's not, people don't think about it, I guess, unless if you're part of the religion it's for. And then there's New Year's, which is always interesting. Everyone turns on the TV to watch a ball drop at midnight. At least over. I don't know if they do that in other countries. I think it means something in some other countries. Well, like the New Year's itself, but I don't know why in America we just like have a ball drop at like the last 10 seconds. No idea. It's cool, kinda, but it's not like, I don't really understand it. It's just something that's existed, and it's been normalized to the point where I don't know, and I haven't looked it up, and I'm probably not going to look it up because it's still going to happen. It's just one of those things that it's going to happen. Right? Anyway. I don't know why I'm still out of breath. Because it's cold outside. There's cold air. I think it's good for you, but like also thinner. Anyway, I hope you all stay safe because snowstorms can be terrible. And inclement weather in general. I hope you all stay happy, stay warm, stay comfortable, and I hope you all have a great Christmas or Hanukkah or New Year's or whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate. I hope whatever the next event you're having is a good one, and because there's so many, happy holidays. Bye.